leading the way with important local coverage. You're watching WISN 12 News at 6.
Breaking news, going to prison for life. The man convicted of killing 6 people in the Waukesha Parade attack, defiant to the end.
What happened on November 21st, 2021 was not an attack.
The sentencing for Darrell Brooks filled with anger.
I don't care about the inevitable. It was already written from day one what was going to happen. It doesn't make me lose any sleep about that. I know I'm okay. I'm okay with everything.
And at times, tears.
Those were images that frankly kept me up at night, that I saw over and over and over.
Tonight, the judge getting the final say.
There is nothing, no other word that can best describe what happened on November 21 of 2021 than the word attack. This court is imposing a life sentence without the possibility or eligibility for extended supervision consecutive to one another. 1 life sentence for Virginia Sorensen. 1 life sentence for Leanna Owen. 1 life sentence for Tamara Durand. 1 life sentence for Jane Kulik. 1 life sentence for Bill Hospel. And 1 life sentence for Jackson Sparks.
Breaking news just moments ago. 6 life sentences handed down for Darrell Brooks, convicted of killing 6 people and injuring more than 60 others last November at the Waukesha Christmas Parade. The courtroom erupting into applause as the judge read her decision. In Waukesha is where we begin tonight at 6. Patrick Palantonio and Hillary Mintz live at the Waukesha County Courthouse tonight, where that sentencing just took place. Patrick.
Joyce, we're just outside the courthouse. We're just a few minutes ago. Judge Dorough handed down that sentence, Hillary.
Right, Patrick. You know, she told the court that nobody would be safe unless Brooks was behind bars for the rest of his life, and that's exactly what she gave him. But you know what? At times, Dorough was brought to tears, just kind of reliving the magnitude of this case, the witnesses, the evidence at trial, and discussing the evil she says Brooks was responsible for that day.
What happened on November 21st, 2021 was not an attack.
Tonight, Darrell Brooks' final words before learning his fate.
Not only am I sorry for what happened, I'm sorry that you could not see what's truly in my heart. That you cannot see the remorse that I have.
Brooks, unmasked, apologized for killing 6 people and hurting more than 60 others when he drove through the Christmas parade last November. Brooks's mother and grandmother among 3 people who spoke on his behalf. They told the court Brooks suffers from mental health issues.
Darrell has suffered from bipolar since the age of 12. And it was that disorder that caused him to drive through that crowd.
Brooks' sentencing quickly turned combative once again with Judge Jennifer Dorough.
Do not interrupt me.
Remove me then.
Listening from the adjacent courtroom, the judge was brought to tears describing the horrific images and evidence shown at trial.
It's hard not to think about what I watched and not have this reaction. Those were images that frankly kept me up at night, that I saw over and over and over.
Ultimately, the judge telling Brooks his mental health issues did not cause the carnage that day.
There are many times, good people do bad things, but there are times when evil people do bad things. Some people, unfortunately, choose a path of evil. And I think, Mr. Brooks, you are one of those such persons.
Our team coverage continues now with Syria Sandlin, who was in the courthouse when the judge handed down that sentence. Syria?
Patrick, so much emotion, raw emotion in that courtroom. If you take a look behind me, some of those victims and the family members of the victims coming out right now, just moments after hearing that verdict. There were tears, there were sniffles, there was applause when the judge read those verdicts, but also there was an altercation, the back and forth between the judge and Darrell Brooks. We caught all of that, of course, on camera. He was brought back into the courtroom, then asked to leave the courtroom, then brought back again several times. The judge said she wanted him to pledge that he would not interrupt the proceedings. He wrote notes numerous times, not with that specific pledge in it. Then he finally did and was allowed to come back in. Then he stood up, was yelling at the judge, and that was the final straw. Take a listen.
Your Honor, as a public servant, I have the right to ask questions of Your Honor.
I'm going to ask you one more time, and if you refuse to sit down, then you are in direct disobedience of a court order. Sit down and be quiet so I can make the appropriate record.
Can you tell me what the court order is?
He's not going to obey. He's now forfeited his right to be present. He will go into the other courtroom.
And that's when she asked them to leave the courtroom. He left for good. But I really just cannot reiterate enough, Patrick, that raw emotion in the courtroom as the judge ran through the testimony of all the victims. There was so many tears, so many people crying. Obviously, these victims still so traumatized by that horrible, horrible parade attack. Now, the judge also mentioned that she did not factor in Darrell Brooks's courtroom antics into her decision with the sentencing. But again, it was weeks leading up to this, and today she finally asked him to leave the courtroom for good before handing down that sentencing.
And the judge also got choked up at times today. Saria Sandlin reporting live tonight here in Waukesha. And right now you can watch the entire sentencing hearing on the WISN 12 app and the 12 News Facebook page. It's at the top of the app's homepage. And just a quick programming note here, World News with David Muir will air in its entirety right here on WISN 12 at 6:30 tonight. All right, now we want to get a look at the forecast and head back to the studio.
And Mark, it's cold, and that's not changing anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, and it's going to get colder than it is right now. A couple of flurries flying through the air here and there across southeastern Wisconsin. Beautiful scene here, and this will be the holiday lights. The start of the holiday lights officially is tomorrow. They're already decked out. Everything is looking good. 35 degrees. You're going to have to bundle up, not just for tonight, but for many days in a row. And heads up, the wind chill, that's the bottom number. Starting to get in that territory where you definitely have to have the gloves, the hats, the mittens, because we'll be down to the low 20s. And again, this is not the coldest we're going to get. We'll let you know how long this chilly air is going to stick around coming up in Weather Watch 12.
And there's a health alert tonight ahead of the holidays. State health officials are urging people to guard against a spike in flu and respiratory virus. But as Kent Wainscott reports, a spike in holiday illness may be unavoidable.
Flu cases are soaring just in time for family gatherings and holiday travel.
Influenza A is on its way up and quite honestly spiking at this point.
All while RSV, respiratory illness in children, continues to fill doctors' offices and hospitals.
Now we're just seeing 500% of normal volumes that we typically would have seen this time of year.
I think it's very likely, if not inevitable, that more cases will occur.
We spoke with state health officials who are putting Wisconsinites on alert.
Kent, as you mentioned, this could be a potentially very concerning situation that is evolving. Very high number of cases, very high number of hospitalizations, especially amongst young children.
Is it just inevitable that we're going to see a rise in illness in the next few weeks?
Yes, I think it is inevitable, but what we can do is really do things to try to prevent that as much as we can.
The most important steps, Children's medical director says, are avoiding contact with sick people and getting up to date on vaccinations, COVID boosters, and especially flu shots. But the message may not be getting through.
One trend that's caught the health experts by surprise and has them concerned is a significant drop in the rate of flu vaccinations.
Those rates are down about 20% from last year, which is really worrisome.
And without people taking better precautions?
Does illness seem more inevitable this holiday season to you than it has in the past?
Yeah, it really does.
In Milwaukee, I'm Kent Wainscott, WISN 12 News.
So just how prevalent is it? This week, Children's Wisconsin reports an average of 73 children per day hospitalized with RSV, COVID, rhinovirus, and/or flu. RSV cases remain high, but appear to have leveled off for the first time in weeks. Meantime, 23% of Wisconsinites have had a flu shot. It's a number state health officials say is much lower than expected. and we'll be right back.